throwaway account because my face was snotty, and I want to keep my dignity. I, 26F, have been having the absolute worst week. My car broke down, I got put on mandatory overtime, and yesterday my cat, who is fine thankfully, decided to knock over my brand new bookshelf, shattering about $50 worth of ceramics. I was running on 4 hours of sleep and high levels of anxiety. Today was supposed to be a simple grocery run, just in and out. But naturally, the store was packed, the cart I grabbed had a squeaky wheel, and I realized I forgot my reusable bags in the car. I was trying to juggle a carton of eggs and a 12-pack of sparkling water when I just hit my breaking point. I stopped dead in the middle of the produce aisle, put the water down, and just started tearing up, right next to a pile of organic kale. It wasn't loud sobbing, just the kind of quiet, defeated crying where your chest aches. I was seriously questioning every life choice that led me to weep over kale. I quickly wiped my face, grabbed my basket, and tried to speed walk away, embarrassed. That's when I heard a soft voice behind me. "Sweetheart, hold on a minute." I turned around and saw this tiny, silver-haired woman, I guess late 70s, standing next to her cart. She had the kindest, most crinkly smile I've ever seen. I mumbled, "I'm sorry, I'm fine." She shook her head gently. "No, you're not fine. You're trying to put the world back together one grocery trip at a time, and it's heavy, isn't it?" Before I could answer, she reached into her cart. She pulled out a small, perfectly ripe avocado and a single, flawless, beautiful pink rose. She pressed the rose into my hand first. "This is for the heavy heart. Beauty always helps." Then, she handed me the avocado. "And this," she said, leaning in conspiratorially, "is for the hungry stomach. You can't fix things on an empty one, and nobody can be sad while eating good toast." She patted my arm, her eyes twinkling. "You take a deep breath, and you remember that tomorrow is fresh, and you deserve the good toast." She then turned her squeaky cart and rolled right past me. I stood there, holding a pink rose and an avocado, completely stunned. The kindness of it, the sheer, unexpected specificity of the gifts, broke the sad spell. I started laughing and crying at the same time. I went to the checkout, paid for my groceries, and still had the rose and the avocado. I got home, put the rose in a vase, and made the best darn avocado toast of my life. The world didn't stop being heavy, but thanks to a complete stranger, I remember that it's also wonderfully, surprisingly kind. TLDR, had a terrible, exhausting week and cried in the grocery store produce aisle. A lovely elderly woman saw me, gave me a beautiful pink rose and a perfect avocado, and told me I deserved the good toast. It saved my day. I, 32M, have a massive golden retriever named Buster. Buster's favorite thing in the world is a hideous, squeaky, bright blue rubber chicken named Henrietta. It's his security blanket. It goes everywhere. Yesterday, Buster and I were at the park. He was running full speed. Henrietta clutched firmly in his mouth. When he shook his head too hard, Henrietta flew out, bounced off a fence, and disappeared down a huge storm drain. Buster immediately realized what happened. He sat by the drain, whined, and then started howling this desperate, mournful sound that tore my heart out. I tried everything, sticks, wire hangers, promising him steak, but Henrietta was gone. Defeated, I took a very depressed Buster home. I spent an hour online trying to find a replacement Henrietta, but they discontinued that specific model years ago. This morning, I drove to 4 different pet stores and 3 novelty shops with no luck. Finally, feeling pathetic, I walked into an old, dusty local hardware store, hoping they might sell something long and grabby for drain fishing. The owner, an older guy named Frank, looked like he hadn't smiled since 1985. He was short, gruff, and his counter was covered in clutter. I meekly asked for a long, thin retrieval tool and started explaining my tragic, embarrassing mission to save Henrietta. Frank just stared at me. "A rubber chicken, you say? The blue one?" I nodded, feeling tears well up again. "It's his favorite. He hasn't moved from the door since yesterday." Frank sighed, rubbed his temples, and disappeared into the back storage room. He was gone for about 5 minutes, and I was convinced he was calling the police. He came back holding a cardboard box. He dug around, pulled out a squeaky, familiar blue rubber chicken, dusted it off, and slammed it on the counter. "Found this behind a shelf 3 years ago. Kid dropped it. Thought it was garbage. That'll be $2, he grumbled. I was shaking. I grabbed it, paid him, and practically sprinted out of the store. As I reached the door, I yelled back, "Thank you, Frank. You're a hero." He just waved his hand dismissively. I got to the car, and when I showed Buster Henrietta, the resulting dog joy was so intense I thought my windshield was going to crack. Buster is now sprinting around the house, giving Henrietta a bath in the water bowl. I drove back to the hardware store and left Frank a $20 bill taped to the counter with a note, "For saving a golden retriever's soul." When I peeked through the window, he was staring at the money, and I swear, I saw the smallest smile flicker across his face.